Is the latest phenomenon to come out of New York. The 3-minute speed dating style therapy sessions have a simple premise. 8 psychotherapists sit at a table and one by one people in the room have 3 minutes to put their problems to them as they work their way down the line. Now, someone at a recent event said, "I like to solve problems rather than spend hours talking about them." So there's something refreshing about being able to hit a variety of problems in a very short amount of time and get offered advice from an experienced panel. What do you reckon?
I think it's great. I think that should be the way. I think we overanalyse everything, and I was a barmaid for years, and I did it every night. 3 minutes with that one, 3 minutes with this one, 3 minutes with that one.
We're talking about therapy.
Hey! It's just like, you know, because that's what you are as a barmaid. You listen to everybody's problems, and it was working in the pub, and it was literally about just listening to them talk and offload.
But how do you solve your own problems? I mean, because I certainly know that you don't come to me with them like you would.
Well, I just solve it. I'm a solver. I don't talk about it much. I'm very male in that aspect, that I just think, right, that's the problem, find me a solution and deal with it. So I'm not one for talking everything out all the time. I just find a solution.
And what about you and Ed when you have problems, if you ever have any? Do you talk them out, or do you argue about them like I do?
No, he tends to talk more than I do, actually. So I'll say, well, this is the solution, let's just do it. And he'll say, well, no, let's talk about it a bit more, see that it's the right thing to do. So I'm a bit more impulsive than he is. So it's roles reversed in our house.
So you're the bloke?
I think I think you and I are certainly a bit less tolerant. For example, we've always said that, you know, you've got girlfriends who sort of constantly come to you and say, now, I don't know what you think of this, but you went to buy a kettle yesterday. What do you think of that? You know, like there's some major issue. Or the ones who say, I've been with him 3 months, he's texted me once. You and I would both go, he's not that into you.
That's right.
But you can't resolve something like that in 3 minutes.
Well,
you need backstory.
If someone hasn't texted you first ever for 3 months, they're not that into you.
You just don't know that. There might be all kinds of issues.
Like
issues, boring, get over it.
Could be.
Or a girlfriend.
But what if his phone's broken? Oh, that one, have you?
3 months.
Can be. Well, yeah, for 3 months.
What about being grown up and texting him and going, you're obviously not that into me? And then you'd know the answer when he either didn't text you back or text back, no, I'm not, actually.
I think it would be interesting for the therapist, because we all know that therapists a lot of therapists charge a lot of money, and often, in my experience, don't say a lot. So there's maybe something about just getting the actual, you know, the soundbite of what your problems are.
Absolutely.
I thought this topic was about speed drinking when I first heard it, but that's what I was going to be interested in.
Ridiculous.
No, I think it's...
The whole point of therapy is so that you talk your problems through and you resolve those issues yourself. And it's not about how much they say, it's about the quality of what they say and the directions in which they point you. And you just can't achieve that in 3 minutes.
Absolutely.
It's not like a quickie, you know. We can't... You don't get the same end result.
I don't know. I'd be very interested. I mean, I didn't used to think for years that I sort of needed every therapy. Now I clearly know I need loads of therapy, as I've realised that I'm a footballer trapped in a woman's body, so maybe they could sort that out for me.
Cole, what do you think?
Well, I'm quite impressed that you think a quickie is 3 minutes. That's far too long for me. Bored after one. Anyway, no, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. It's like a drive-through. I mean, it's almost like you get a toy and a free drink by the time you get to the end of the line. I think you can't solve anything in 3 minutes. There's no way. And I would just hate the fact that they go, oh, really? Anyway, next. No, and there's a line-up of people.
Don't you think we overanalyse everything, though?
No, because sometimes you have to talk to eventually however long that takes. And if you're lucky, yeah, it might take 5 minutes, or it might take 5 months or 5 years. I think talking helps you eventually reach a logical conclusion, and I think by talking, that's the only way you can do it. And the thing is, you know, I had therapy for about 6 months, and you're absolutely right. You know, people go, yeah, but they're just paying to sit there and listen, they don't really say anything. But the odd thing they do say, because they're so emotionally detached from the situation, is so logical, because the problem is, when you've got a problem of any kind, you lose all sense of logic. And that's where the problem is. You know, of course, the answer is if somebody hasn't texted you for 3 months, he's not interested. But if you're really into him, you don't think that logically. You do think maybe he's lost his phone, idiot. But, you know...
Voice of reason!
I just think I've had bad experiences of therapy, that's all. Everybody trying to take everything back to the childhood all the time. It's not always about that. So I think that sometimes I would be quite happy to try that. I'd certainly try it.
Well, to be honest with you, a therapist would need a therapist to talk to you, really. I mean, they'd need therapy themselves. They'd walk out there and go, I can't help this woman.
But also, do you not think that this sort of undermines the whole purpose of a therapist in the first place? You go to somebody like that because it's not something you can work through on your own quickly or with friends. So actually, you do need to dedicate some serious time to it. And, I mean, this sounds like a gimmick to me. I don't think it's something that would ever resolve anything.
I'd like Tim to try it, because, of course, what he does is that he only ever brings the topics up of our problems is when he's absolutely bladdered. So, you know, you're just trying to go to bed sober, if I am sober, and then you get, right, I want to discuss us. Yeah. What's going on with us? What's happened to me in this relationship? Shut up! That's how we bash it out at home. I love it when I know he's on the way to Newcastle when I'm on the live show, because I know he won't be watching it anyway.
Colleen's right. No therapist would touch you.
Yeah.
OK, time for a final breather.